Fall is my favorite season. Something about its coziness, it's the fuzzy socks, it's a good cup of tea, and for those who celebrate, it's pumpkin spice latte season. But it's also the perfect time to reset and bring healthy habits back into focus. And with Green Chef, the number one meal kit for clean eating, you can do just that. Green Chef really makes it easy to spend less time in the kitchen and more time enjoying the season. With their new Heat and Eat meals, you can enjoy a delicious, wholesome meal in just 3 minutes. It's also perfect for supporting your wellness journey because Green Chef uses clean ingredients, fresh organic produce. It really helps you nurture yourself and your nutritional needs. I've used Screen Chef before and have found the meals to be both delicious and healthy. I chose the Mediterranean option and I was genuinely pleasantly surprised by how delicious and importantly convenient these meals were. Make this fall your healthiest yet with Green Chef. Head to greenchef.com/50BGB and use the code 50BGB to get 50% off your first month. Then 20% off for 2 months with free shipping. That's code 50BGB at greenchef.com/50BGB. Welcome to the Black Girl Burnout Podcast. Kelley here, and today we have a fantastic guest. We have Precious L. Williams. She is the proud founder and CEO of the Pitch Perfect Group and is a 13-time national elevator pitch champion and 5 times number one best-selling author and international professional speaker. Besides training entrepreneurs and business leaders and professionals, she's also a top Fortune 100 corporate sales trainer, teaching people how to take their sales, media, and elevator pitches from trash to straight cash. Having successfully appeared on Shark Tank Season 8 in 2016, Precious is also a world-class speaker for global brands including Verizon, BMW, Blackstone, Dominion Energy, Thinkific, SiriusXM, HubSpot, and so much more. She's a sought-after global speaker, and she's also hired to keynote international conferences, summits, and events. Precious also is on the board of Savvy Ladies, and if you recall, Savvy Ladies is someone we have an ongoing partnership with that encourages women to get savvy with their finances by offering a free helpline where you can have a 55-minute call on any financial topic you can think of with a certified financial professional. So if you have not taken advantage of that helpline, what y'all waiting for? Please check it out. The link is in the show notes. Precious and I have a fantastic conversation about what it takes to be financially savvy and then what it takes to build the business she has built and how she helps people create personal and organizational entrepreneurial brands for themselves. We talk about the power of networking and mentorship and gate openers and how key that is to financial education. And I think we talk about it in a way that you may not have heard before. So I hope you enjoy this conversation. Let's jump in to me and Precious's conversation. Precious, it's so great to have you today. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I mean, it's a great day. Sun's shining. Let's get this work.
I love that. I need your energy. I need to bottle that up. I'm like, I need to really get that. I'm like, you just came in like, I am happy to be here. And I'm like, I don't think I have ever in my life came with that level of energy. So I'm going to bottle some of that for myself.
You know what? I love it. And it's something that, those who hire me to speak, train, they're like, it's 7:30 in the morning. You're hype. I said, you got to understand. I've been through a lot in this lifetime. So I want to come like the wrecking ball.
I love that. And I love that. And I'm like, that's what you're paying me for. You're like, that's what you have me here for, to bring that energy, to bring that joy. And so you're going to bring this joy to this episode, which is why so excited to have you talking. We're going to spend a little bit of time talking about something we have in common, which is Savvy Ladies and just financial health of Black women, because I think that's so important. But I also feel like it dovetails naturally into what you do, right? Like what you do day to day. So we're going to start with Savvy Ladies. We're going to end with how Pitch Please and Pitch Perfect came to be in your life and how that's going to help the audience. So I'm excited. I want to first start about Savvy Ladies. So, as the audience knows, we're very passionate at Black Girl Burnout about financial health and the mission of Savvy Ladies. But I've been meeting all these different folks who are associated with it. And I'm always kind of curious. It's like, you're on the board. How did you get involved? How did you get with Savvy Ladies? And what was the draw for you to work with them?
I came to Savvy Ladies probably in a different way from most of the board members. I won their Inspiration of the Year 2020. And it was because of, I went through a lot of trauma, drama, and stress in life and business, had a very rough childhood, and yet full scholarships to every school I've ever attended: Spelman, Georgetown, Rutgers School of Law. Became an attorney in the state of New York. I'm first generation and the only generation in my family. And then I plot twisted and flipped the script and started Curvy Girls Lingerie, my very first company that no one believed in, and raised $750,000 for a company they said I was too fat, too black, no Ivy League degree for. And in my appearance on Shark Tank, which should have been just the highlight, I lost the love of my life and my business partner, and I imploded. So I was homeless for 2 years on the streets of New York. I tried to take my life on my 38th birthday. And yet here I am with a successful, thriving company. I bounced back from homelessness. I bounced back from every limitation that people put on me and said was impossible, from the little hood girl from St. Louis to make it big in New York City. And so Savvy Ladies reached out and wanted to award me with Inspiration of the Year. A couple of years later, they reached out to me and said, Precious, we would love if you become a board member, because you're someone who has actually been through transitions and heard every no, and you ate it like lunch meat. You just like, I'm eating no's for lunch, because the big yes comes if you stay persistent and consistent. And I've been a board member ever since. So I've brought on board members. I've been proud to to host the auction with my queen Lisa, who is chair of the board of Savvy Ladies, and I've really made a name for myself inside of Savvy Ladies and bringing that out to different communities. So that's how I got to be on the board of Savvy Ladies.
What a story, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
It's a story that I think many people can identify with at least elements, one or two elements, maybe not every
Oh, very
single thing.
much, very much.
It's a universal tale, I think, that a lot of women understand, of that theme of like resilience and the theme of rebuilding. And particularly for me, I'm really passionate about that, hearing people at different ages and stages rebuild, because so many people feel like, if I didn't get good with money in my 20s, and most of us are not taught about that, right? If I didn't have a dad to pass on to me a trust fund, right? It's too late. Like, I can't get it together. I
Yes.
can't start. And so a lot of Black women self-eliminate from understanding or pursuing true lasting wealth, right? Making money possible, hustling, yes. But this idea, this concept of actual abundance, this concept of actual rebranding, regrowth, resilience post some devastating moments feels far away for so many Black women. And so I wanted to hear from your perspective, one, why is that not true from what you've endured and what you've been through, right? And where you are today, for some hope for folks. And also, what is to you feels like so crucial when it comes to financial education? Why is it so crucial that women are empowered? Kind of linked to those two things.
Well, first of all, when I tell you those are two amazing questions, listen, I didn't grow up with money. I wasn't taught about money. So financial literacy was, if I heard it, it just never made real sense to me, because I didn't have a family that was good with money. I grew up with my grandparents, and my grandfather paid for everything in cash.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't have a high school education. So imagine that. And I have this dream of, I'm going to live in New York, and I'm going to I'll be a host of a talk show. I'm going to have billboards in Times Square. That sounds so incredibly crazy. But to my grandparents, they knew I could do it. And they were the first to say that I would make it based on the strength of my ability to speak. It's funny, they knew things that no one else did. I'd already been in genius classes and things like that, stuff I didn't even really take for granted. I think I took it for granted, but I was always placed in certain places. And to become an attorney and to do well at it and then just be bored. Like, I don't want to do this. What Black person do you know leaves a position because they're just like, it doesn't suit me, with no position in sight, but that's just how I moved. And I believed and I trusted in God that I could do it. When I think about savvy ladies and when I think about my trajectory, the only reason I'm strong today, the only reason that I know that persistence and consistency beats resistance is because I saw a lot of people who allowed life circumstances to tell them that it's over. And it's like, actually, it just began. This is actually my second chapter, Quinn. I'm 46 years old. And along my journey, I realized the right rooms change everything. And Savvy Ladies is one of those rooms. When you look at the board members, they're lawyers, they're doctors, they're women. Some women came from wealth, some women built it. And so to be around those two types of women, to celebrate birthdays together, to celebrate business launchings. When I think about my Queen Lisa and Savvy Ladies, when I was writing my fifth book, they were involved. And Lisa, being a managing partner of her own law firm, as I was writing my book, she was looking over it and offering her suggestions. And she will tell anybody, this is one of the best books she's ever written, and it's my voice. It is not written in the voice of others. To get back to both of your questions, I've held guilt and shame. I have thought that I didn't deserve. But being in the right rooms, those women saw things in me that they did not see in others. And they knew that I had a unique value, that I could speak to the janitor all the way up to the president, that I've spoken to politicians. I've been on stages with them and they've been giving me standing ovations. I've spoken in front of big companies, but the only reason it happened is because they opened doors for me. So if you're in the wrong rooms and you're around people who are not doing it, you're in the wrong spaces altogether. When I think of savvy ladies, when I think of the rooms that I've been in, it's because they opened the door. I didn't have to be the female MacGyver of business like I've always had. They opened the door, the red carpet, and said, we want to introduce you to Precious. And they never brought up my backstory. Think about that.
Yes.
Because there are a lot of people, when you see a woman of color or a Black woman, she has to come from the worst situations, and that's what they lead with. And so one of the things I want to say to the queens watching, don't lead from the place of power. I am a 13-time national elevator pitch champion. I'm a 5-time #1 best-selling author. I have been hired by Blackstone, LinkedIn, Google, Microsoft, Federal Reserve Bank, into QuickBooks, Verizon, Thinkific, like what you want. And it's not because I'm a Black woman. It's because I'm the best in the world at what I do. But in order to be the best in the world at what I do, others had to notice and open that door and say, you've been playing small, play with the big boys, the big girls right now. And if you think it's too late, you obviously don't know your creator. Because if as long as there's breath in your body, seek therapy, get around the right people. And that's what Savvy Ladies has blessed me with. But only because I came to the table with something so unique that they hadn't seen before. And he wanted to bless the world with it.
I think there's so much there to unpack, but I think there's so much inspiration and practicality in what you just said, in the sense
Practical?
that very practical. We do practical here.
Yes.
We don't do pie in the sky dream,
When I went
have
to
a
law school, it
dream.
was a lot of theory. I was like,
Yeah.
what a practice that. That's what
Right.
I'm about.
Right. We can't just say if you believe it, you achieve it. Like, we need more than that. We need practical step by step. And I think what's really powerful about what you said is another element, I think, of financial education that I don't know that we talk enough about. We don't connect, is what I say. So I'm really
Right.
passionate about mentorship and who's in the room with you. And I honestly haven't thought about connecting it. I have made the connection, but loosely. Like, when I talk about career
Yes.
things and how my career has progressed, I always tell people it is who you know, it is being in the right rooms, it is making connections with people who will speak about you when you're not in the room, right? And speak about you in a way that, I love that point about not trauma led. This is a Black person we're doing charity for because they've struggled. No. More like, this is a professional who's going to change your world and you need to meet them. That's what's going to get you further in your career. But I've never explicitly, is what I will say, connected that to financial education. It's not just about knowing, the importance of
How to
investing.
budget.
Yes, how to budget.
How to invest. It's so much more than that. And that
Particularly
is
for Black women. I think I'm sorry not to cut you
particularly
off,
for
but I
Black
think
women.
that's important. Like I do think if we're talking to a different audience, if we're talking to college age white middle class men, I think it's like you just need to know the stuff. Like you already have your community, you need to know how to budget, you need to know how to invest, you need to know when to make those right moves and when to do that. But for Black women, I think it's time we explicitly say it requires more than I know how to invest. It requires more
Yes.
than I know how to budget. Yes, please, please get all that. And we're going to connect back to Savvy Ladies free resources. But I really want to say that the component that you are highlighting here that I want to foot stomp is it is really time to think about who we're in community with. And I always say there's a difference between like supporters and what I call elevators or gate openers, right? That Black women, I think one of the biggest missteps we make financially is that we mistake those two things. That Black women are excellent at surrounding themselves as supporters, but they don't tend to know too many gate openers or too many people who can like literally elevate them. And that tends to sometimes not be in the circle of friends that you have. It tends to be a white
Queen,
lawyer.
Queen, you went there. You
I,
went there,
I
and
go
this
there because we need it. We need to say
we
out loud.
need it. And I will, and I'm so glad that you heard that because listen, I've run into so many gatekeepers, and I'm like, I look past you. I'm sorry. You haven't even been into the promised land, and you're trying to keep me out. So for those who blocked me, what you didn't understand is the art of communication. I'm going to get past you. And it's going to be in a way you're not going to see coming. That's why I think having a vast network of the gate openers and those who can say yes, you don't even mess with gatekeepers. And so when you walk in, oh, you blocked me 3 years ago. You didn't understand who my network really is. And oftentimes it may not be within within our group. There have been women and men who look nothing like me. And as you can see on the board of Savvy Ladies, I know I stand out. I know I do. Not just because of my race, but I bring a different type of energy. And it's intoxicating for others because they're like, how did you get in here? It's because I wanted to be in different rooms, and I often met gatekeepers who deliberately only wanted to be the only ones. And I knew I was going to open the door. I just had to get through the door. So, as an entrepreneur, international professional speaker, world class master communicator, the different rooms I needed to be in, I had to explore how was I going to do it, what warm introduction was going to do it. Savvy Ladies gave me a platform to do it, but I also had to do the hard work of, if I wanted to be in financial services, real estate, tech, how was I going to make myself valuable to be invited into those rooms and on the red carpet? And a lot of times you're not going to see pictures of that. You're not going to see people like, oh, you need to be on the yachts or whatever. If my friend has a yacht, then I do too. If my friend has a penthouse, I do too. You don't need to see those pictures because in those rooms, we're having conversations that are not what you see on social media.
I
Sorry, not going to see.
yes. Yes, I think that's so important. And I really want to say, and I know that people are scared to say it, but I'm not scared to say anything that's the truth
Please
that's
don't be
going to get you
afraid.
further. No, you can't because it's what's keeping the door closed. A lot of times, the people who are elevators and the gate openers do not look like you. More times than not, they do not look like you.
They don't.
Every step forward I have had in my career, transparently, has come from a white man because at the end of the day, and what that's one, and I'm not saying that they're the only ones, because like you're talking about other people that are not white men who've been gate openers for you, but I want to highlight that they were vastly different from me because we need to be honest about who holds the door. And oftentimes it is not your peers. We are all struggling. When I had and again, you also said I cannot open the door for others if I'm not in the room. And I always said I can't bring you up. You can't have a come up if I don't have a come up, right? I need to be in the room.
Exactly.
Get there
Exactly. And
first.
it's not those brunches and empowerment. Like that's cute. It's cute.
We got to
It's
say it.
cute.
We've got
Not
to
to
say
be
it.
and it's
We've got to
I'm gonna
say it.
say, listen, it's cute. But I'm gonna tell you this. I'm not here for the entertainment factor. And I need to be honest. And when I was coming up in the game, I used to say, if all we're seeing is entertainers, then we're not going to be in the business rooms. And I came through business before entertainment. So I'm not
Yes.
going to allow people to limit me. And it has been white men, white women, Jewish men, Jewish women,
Yes.
Latina, Latino, Asian and Pacific
Yes.
Islanders, because they were socialized and raised differently, honestly.
Yeah.
And so if they could see the difference in me immediately that my own community may not have ever understood, that's what opened the door. That's how MSNBC opened the door to Curvy Girls Lingerie. That's how I have the clients that I've had, is because they saw it immediately when others could not.
Yes.
So it's good to go to the empowerment brunches and stuff like that. But why is Savvy Lady so important? It's because, of course, we have the free resources and we have the hotline. But more importantly, we're around financial advisors, people who know about investing and beyond. But if you're not in those rooms, that's going to be a detriment to you. It really will. When I stand on these stages with Dominion Energy, if I stand on these stages with different, like the Small Business Expo, where I'm the keynote, sponsored by Verizon, I am clear to say I'm Black on both sides, no Brazilian butt lift, no six-pack abs, but I've been in movies and documentaries. I'm like these, I'm everywhere you want to be. But only because there were different rooms and those gate openers and those people who said, she's ready. Even if she doesn't see it, we already see where she can be. And not only we're going to tell her, we're going to open that door.
Yes.
Not because I say we got the Black woman. Oh, no. Because in this environment, that might not be the thing you want to say. So what do they lead with? What them statistics looking like? What them receipts looking like?
Yes.
Remember Whitney Houston was like, I want to see the receipts. Let me run them back. Let me run them down. But I'm not going to say it. They're going to say it.
Yes. And
If
I
you
think
have a
that's
question of
critical.
why I'm in this room, I'm in rooms now. If you're in the room, they're not asking the questions you think, no. What do you do? No. That's not the questions I'm asked. I promise you those aren't the questions I'm asked. It's like, oh, your energy precedes you. Yes, it does.
Yes.
Yes, it does. And I can sit back and be mysterious because I don't need to talk. If I'm in the room, there's a reason why I'm here.
And they accept that you belong there. I think that's the part. They accept it. You don't need to prove it.
You've been vetted to be in this space. It's not it's a public event, baby. I'm at the private ones that I can't even talk about.
Yes.
Because we're having these kind of conversations that you wouldn't even believe. And no, we're not talking about pop culture. I promise you that's not it. Because it's like,
no, you're making moves
about that.
No, you're making
about
moves.
Business? Yes.
Yes. And I think that's critical. Many things, because I think there's a nuance to this conversation about gate openers versus elevators, which is your support system, right? Which is what Black women give each other. It's beautiful. We're not discounting it. It is also, they're both critically important, right? It's not one more than the other. And so that's one thing. But it's that those people that are on the same level as you cannot raise you. I used to tell people in the room, I made it to the C-suite at my last job. And I was like, look, I'm barely in here. I knew with all my heart, I could not get anybody else in the C-suite with me. They need to find somebody else who got them in the door, like my person got me in the door and said, Kelley belongs here. So that's one. The second thing I want to emphasize too is there's a nuance to that. Being in the room and having mentors does not require you to sell out. It does not require you to be the token Black person, Black woman. Oh, we got to find a Black woman and we got to tell a sad story. Oh yeah, she's not qualified, but it's charity work. And I have never had to sell myself out. I have never had to lead with some funny story of entertainment to justify my presence in the room. I show up because I'm good at what I do, and that's what we're here to talk about. That's the energy of the conversation. And I think I really want to make that clear because that can get easily confused in this conversation. That's like, oh no, you've got to like shuck and jive. For the younger folks, you got to pretend because they not know.
Wait, I don't code. I really need that to be said. I don't code switch. Right. And I remember one of my friends, Kelley Charles Collins, and she's the creator of the Six Bows, she's Speaker Moguls. I was doing an event for a huge company. I'm not even going to say with a big tech, one of the big three. And she got to sit in, and I said something that was very, very funny. And she could not believe it because she really believed that I would go in. Hi, I'm Precious. I'm so delighted to be here with all of you today. That is not how I came in. I came in on a Nicki Minaj moment for life, just going in. And it was disruptive. And it also set the tone. If you think you're going to get boring and bland, that's not what you're going to get with me. And as fun and as entertaining as I am, you're going to get this work because I am the killer pitch master. I show you how to make it rain and what? Slay the game with what? Killer pitch. And I'm going to run it down. We're going to run it down together. Don't get fooled by the skin color and the gender. Please don't get fooled. There will be no code switching without ever having to say that. So she heard me say this term and she waited for a second to see how the men in the room were going to be. And they were laughing and joking. She said, I was stunned. I said, well, you have to understand, I'm not the employee.
Yeah, that is very different.
Equal in the room.
Yes.
Or maybe if I'm not equal, I'm one or two steps below.
You're a peer.
So they're not
You're
looking
peer.
at me as the employee. They're looking
Yes.
at me as the partner, the speaker, the trainer. There's a difference. So I'm not supposed to come in and with all this deference. If we're going to go blow for blow, bar for bar, lick for lick, let's go. And she said that's when she realized why I say I don't code switch, because she saw it in real time.
And it's more and less about I appreciate that, and I understand exactly what you're saying, and what I would add to this just means you get to be yourself. Like that's what we're saying. Like there isn't this element. I think people think that when you look for a mentor and you do these different things that you then have to change who you are to get that or to be. And I'm not suggesting that. I'm saying that you actually can have, and you're illustrating that, right? Not everybody has your energy or your personality, and that they don't have to be you either, but they have to show up as themselves and as the expert in whatever it is that they are doing, whatever that is, right? From nursing to finance, whatever you are doing, that's what's important. And I think I'm glad we took the time to highlight that, because I think that's so important that people realize I don't think we're honestly talking about financial success of Black women. I think we're telling Black women to go run an obstacle course that is deadly and difficult. And we're not saying that, there's people who will like either just eliminate obstacles from the course if and give you a shortcut to the ending, if you spend as much time. Yes, help you, give you aid and water.
How beautiful is that? So when I see the people, when they ask me about Savvy Ladies and ask me about, my place within, and they see the pictures and we're laughing or we're kikiing or we're helping, we're assisting, I think that it gets lost that we're real friends too.
Yeah, it's real. It's not fake.
It's not a fake. It's not fake. When you see these pictures and you usually see me in some color or I'm laughing or kikiing or I'm teaching, you truly understand the reason why I'm here is not the token. What do I bring to the table is just as equal to whatever my other board members bring to the table. If it's dollars and cents, bar for bar, lick for lick. If it's zones of genius, and if it's all of us can lay all receipts on the table, and they truly have eliminated obstacles that stand in the way of a lot of us. Yes. Just eliminate, you think you got to go through this gatekeeper, whatever. I'm just going to pull that out. You're with the decision maker right now. Go get this work.
Let's be real. One of the biggest sources of burnout for Black women is money. Whether it's debt, divorce, home buying, investing, or just trying to make it to the next paycheck, financial stress is real and it's exhausting. But here's something that can help: the Savvy Ladies Helpline. It's free. Yes, really free. You get 55 minutes with a certified financial expert, no strings, no judgment, just real answers to your real money questions. Want to build wealth, prep for retirement, figure out how to invest or navigate money after a breakup? They've got you. Savvy Ladies is on a mission to make financial education accessible to all women, and the helpline is a game changer. So if money is stealing your peace, I invite you to take one powerful step toward financial freedom. Visit savvyladies.org and book your free session today. You don't have to struggle alone. You can opt out of burnout and into clarity, confidence, and peace with your money. As someone who suffers with anemia, I know all too well how life-altering iron deficiency can be. Whether it's the overwhelming fatigue, the dry and brittle nails, the difficulty concentrating, it takes a toll. And then sometimes the supplements and treatments for iron deficiency have unpleasant side effects. That's why I'm excited about Citarol. Citarol from PharmaNutra is a premium iron supplement powered by sucrosomial technology. This helps your body absorb 3 to 4 times more iron while avoiding the common side effects of traditional iron supplements, the nausea and constipation. Citarol stands apart with 150 published clinical studies, unlike most supplement brands that have little to no clinical research. It's globally trusted and it's convenient. You can take it at any time, so there's no need to adjust your meals. It fits seamlessly into your day. It's 100% allergen free, it's vegan and gluten free. So if you're nodding along and I'm describing the symptoms because you are exhausted and your brain feels like it's in a fog, this could be exactly what you need. Join over 2 million people who have already discovered Citarol and found the help they needed. Head to pharmanutra-us.com and use the code BGB for 10% off your first order of Citarol. That's pharmanutra-us.com. Promo code BGB for 10% off today. Yes, that's what I think I want to leave folks with, is that you don't have to change who you are, but you do need to be expansive. This podcast is all about being expansive and in who
Yes.
you are and how you move in the world, and explicitly saying it takes a village to get you to where you need to be financially, and it's the right people in the community. And we already probably have great supporters in our lives. If not, bring them in, and we can talk about that in another episode. I will definitely talk about that. And I have talked about that in an episode about elevators versus supporters, but we also need to look toward elevators. And that can be done simultaneously. The last thing I want to talk about before we move into the work that you're doing right now is that can also be done simultaneously. It's not in lieu
Yes.
of being educated about money, because when you get into the conversations and in those rooms, you do need to have a little bit of foundational knowledge, even if you're not going to be quizzed on it, because you need to be able to know how to move with the advice that you're given. And that is
Yes.
kind of like where, Savvy Ladies is doing a fantastic mission of providing these free resources. If y'all have not called the helpline, I don't know what else to tell you to do. It is free. It's the
Call the
certified
help.
free. It's free for you. Free. My mama's calling it. I'm calling it. My Gen Z social media person's calling it. That is what we need to do. We need to be educated about our finances. And so my last question for you around finances and women is like, what do you think is the most overlooked or underrated kind of first step into becoming financially savvy?
I think the most overlooked is actually looking at your numbers yourself, looking at what's in that bank account, looking at what you're bringing in. Let's say you have a job or you have this big career. What are the numbers telling you? Do you know what they actually say? Even if it's $0 in your bank account because you lost this high-paying, high position, you need to know, and to also call the helpline. There are a lot of women in transition right now, Black women in transition, who suddenly found themselves on the outside and don't know where to start, and they feel ashamed. So the first step is always looking at what's there and know you're not alone. I can't tell you. I told you I was homeless. I've been kicked to the curb. I've been shamed, all sorts of things. And when I finally looked at those numbers and came clean to myself that so many people are experiencing it, they just do it in silence. With Savvy Ladies, you don't have to be silent because we've all been through it, even the people that y'all see. And when I think of Stacey Francis and why she started Savvy Ladies, it makes me cry because you hear the true stories, not the glossy stories, but the true stories. And you're looking at people and they're at the top of their game now, but you don't know where they started or how many bad things happened. And they had to persevere and get past the gatekeepers to the ones who can get, put you on that elevator. It's beautiful. And so coming clean and understanding what holds a lot of us back is the guilt and shame from actually having a real conversation. And then opening up to the possibilities. So knowing your numbers and being okay that your numbers probably reflect a lot more people than you think, but a lot more people aren't going to say it. They're not going to call the helpline. They're not going to come out to events that are specifically for them where they can talk face to face with others. That is the crucial first step. Don't run. Most people run, and that's why they're in trouble. Okay,
100%.
talk about it. Mm-hmm.
Yes, talk about it. It is it's the painful first step, but it's also the other
Yes.
side of its freedom. On the
Yes.
other side of its freedom, when I've had financial struggles and I've been like, I need to stop clowning myself and I need to look at these numbers. And it was eye opening in a painful way to be like, oh,
Very much.
I don't have any money. Not only do I have any money, but I'm spending like I do. I don't think I've met the Kelley that is showing up and running that credit card is not a real person. Like this is not a reality. Like this is just poor financial decision one right after another after another. And what I will say is it's not easy to do that. But on the other side of that is true freedom because you're going to
Tell
empower
it. Tell it.
yourself. It's true freedom, and it's even better if you have somebody who can help you along the way. And that's what I did. I went and called somebody. So look, it's bad, and they're like,
It's
it
looking.
can't
It's
be
looking a
worse.
little rough in these streets.
It's looking
It's
like
looking a little
problems,
rough. And
but
it's
I can
something
get there.
you have to keep reminding yourself because this economy in the last 5 years, we're not just talking about now. Can we talk about like COVID and every, like there's
Yeah,
been so much that's happened. And I think we're deluding ourselves by trying to make it seem like it just happened now. There's a lot that has happened to us. There's a lot of businesses that aren't together anymore. There's a lot of families. There's a lot of relationships that aren't, that were worsened during the pandemic or
yeah.
just see. So it's been 5 years. And as a Black woman to go through all of that, still hold my head up high, still know that these rooms I'm in, I seeded that too. I kept building on those relationships. And that's why I'm still here.
Yes. And it that is what it takes. And it is both freeing. It's initially a little difficult, but I am telling you all on the other side of it, and Precious is standing here being that embodiment. And I think that's why I have so many Black women come on this podcast and share their stories and share their expertise because that's what matters. It's like it's seeing that it's okay. You can be down. You just take the first step. And the first step in this case, y'all, call that helpline. I don't know what else to say. The numbers gonna be in the show notes. Call it. You have literally nothing to lose and something to gain by calling and getting a free consultation. And also simultaneously seek mentorship. And I will continue to talk about this and provide more tips in the podcast, but seek mentors and seek these gate openers to help you take the knowledge that you are getting and the resilience that you're bringing to your finances and catapult you forward. And that to me, I feel like is like we have done good work if we can get every Black woman to do that. And particularly for you, because I think I want to talk a little bit about who you are and what you do. I mean, we talked about who you are, and that is separate from what you do. But I want to know a little bit more about what you do and what your business is. I know that you help organizations and people kind of sharpen their messaging and show up with clarity. But I want to know, you talked about lingerie. We started lingerie. Now we're doing this. How did you get here? I'd like to know a little bit about that, and then tell us a little bit about the perfect pitch.
Truly, it's been unexpected detours. I swear, that's what got me here is unexpected detours. Being an attorney in the great state of New York, as prestigious as that sounds, I was a Sullivan Cromwell clerk for federal judge in the Southern District. I was in medical malpractice, products liability, toxic torts, but I never got to have what I felt like would be my Johnny Cochran moment. And the way it was looking, I came out during the mortgage foreclosure crisis, law school. So to be employed was wonderful. But I also want to give myself permission to do the very things that people who look nothing like me can take for granted. So when I wanted to start this lingerie company, it's because I left my ex-fiance, the one who proposed to me on my law school graduation day, because I knew what we had that was done. And being, in my 30s and being told, oh, how does a woman leave? And I didn't realize how much weight I gained. I was 327 pounds. 327, March 15th, 2010. My friend said I need to start dating like after 3 months. And I've been with the same man 7 years. What do it? So I put an ad on a dating site. I wrote a poem called Two to Tango. And I met three amazing brothers. And yes, the site was Craigslist. Yeah, but that was 2010, y'all. Don't be trying to hold me to 2025 standards. Don't be doing that. And they were great. One was a swim instructor at a private school. One was a record producer. And one was a very famous actor. Why did they give me the time of day? Well, the actor and I can't even tell you our first date. I'm just thinking he's humoring a big girl. Till he said, let's do it again.
We're going to talk about what this is offline.
For real? And anyway, so I couldn't find lingerie just in case something went down. And no one made it in my size. I was size 28. And I swear to you, my higher power said, Curvy Girls Lingerie, that's you. And I started it, put all my money into it. Nobody believed until I went to an event I couldn't afford and pitched to the producers of MSNBC. Not thinking anything, because I'm like, man, I'm a fat girl. They told me I would never. And I impressed the producers, and I was on Your Business with J.J. Renberg, February 9, 2012. 54 seconds. You only had 1 minute to pitch. I walked away with $500,000 in 54 seconds. They told me to enter pitch competitions. I won 13 out of 14. $750,000. And then people ask me, can you teach me how to pitch? Started Perfect Pitches by Precious.
Love
in
that.
2013. And then my clients are winning pitch competitions. And in 2016, I was on Shark Tank season 8 in 2016. And I wiped the floor with those sharks. I didn't go in scared. I was like, man, I've heard every no in the book, but I turned that into yeses. And so even while I was filming, I had no idea how big that really was. I was filming a movie at the same time. Just look that's a crazy story. That's crazy. Yes. At 327, who does that? And never knowing that afterwards they did a home visit, so I knew it was the heart of the show. Baby, you got to be strategic in these streets. But the ability to pitch is something I didn't know I had. I've been speaking professionally for a long time, but the ability to pitch, to be able to introduce my business, my brand, my book, my products and services in some sort of way that leads to the sale, the referral, the investment, the opportunity, and to be able to do it on the grandest stages of them all. Perfect Pitches by Precious in 2023, we turned into the Perfect Pitch Group because we were getting the biggest clients in the world in tech, financial services, and real estate. And so when I tell you, we slay all competition with a what? Killer pitch. Your elevator, your media, your investor, your sales, your speaker, and your interview pitch. But then I said, you know what? I'm a rainmaker too. I'm a rainmaker. Show you how to make it rain. And what? Slay the game. I want you to be the only choice that matters. No matter who you're competing against, you are the only choice that matters. And positioning. Are you the key of the Lexus or the Rolls Royce? Because it's a question if you're going to get paid and how much.
Yes.
If you are the Kia, they're going to look at you as average, random, and ordinary. A Lexus, you are premium. A Rolls Royce, you're rare. You name your price. So to go from, yes, creating and teaching on how to slay all competition with the killer pitch to becoming the only choice that matters in sales, that has been my trajectory. And I'm so proud we're the Perfect Pitch Group because we work with, big companies, corporations, foundations, nonprofits, private associations. It's been a joy. And so that is what I do. And as I said to you before, I'm a 5-time #1 best-selling author. My books are all sold in bulk to companies and corporations around the world. And so it didn't need to be on Amazon and everything for the rest of his life. And so there's so many things I learned in my journey. To be scrappy, to be determined, and to not take what people tell you as gospel, especially if they've never fought in the trenches. And I fight in the trenches. What I teach is what I know and can demonstrate every day. I didn't get into these companies, I didn't get in these stages by being everyone else. So disruption, I always hate it. I hated that word when it became like pivot and disrupt. But I am a disruptor, I'm the wrecking ball. And so I don't accept what people say there's only one way. How could there only be one way? There's not just one person on this earth. I may not be what people expect, but I'm exactly what they need, and they know immediately when I bless the microphone.
I think that's critically important because, one, the whole story, I also noticed that every woman that I've interviewed who's extremely successful and happy in their success has zigzagged. They've never ended up where they started,
Nope.
myself included,
Mm-hmm.
very all over the place, did not end up where I started. And I've noticed that as a trend with people who are very happy in what they do and very successful. I think those two things need to go together. And the second thing is understanding like what your key skill or superpower, your zone of genius, is said in many different ways, and making that be the thread that runs through your life versus a position or specific career template. It's like, what is the secret sauce I bring, the zone of genius, whatever that phrase is for you, and making sure that's what's the thread versus a position or particular title. And I also feel like too, when it comes to pitching yourself, as it links back to, we talked about, a networking. You have to be able to sell yourself to people as an investment. You yourself is an investment, and how you sell yourself really matters. And so I feel like for you, like I want to pick your brain a little bit about that, because particularly for Black women, what do you think is the most important thing when it comes to that art of pitching yourself and owning your worth and doing it in a way that, again, feels authentic? What I see is a lot of people teaching, right, how to be precious in the world. I'm just giving an example. How to be precious pitching, not how to be Kelley pitching. Like you and me are very different
I am
personalities,
so
but
glad you just said
I
that.
don't want to buy a program that teaches me how to pitch like you, because it will not sell me. It will not
It
work because that's
won't.
not who I am and that's
And the
not the
people
skill set.
who are buying it at some point will
Well,
realize,
no.
right? So let me tell you, I'm so see, let's go. Let's get it. No one can teach me how to be precious, because the precious that preceded me becoming the killer pitch master or the rainmaking speaker was very much quiet. In the courtroom, I'm slicing and dicing. I'm bringing the drama. Like Cardi B said, "Am I the drama, baby? I'm the drama all day, every day. I'm on stage. I'm the drama." But in those offices, in those corporate offices, I was just quiet because I was told to be quiet, just sit in the room. When I became an entrepreneur and really accepted that, I realized I had to create noise and buzz around myself. And
Yeah.
it wasn't going to be from the perspective of being a 15-year-old TikToker.
No.
I was already too old for that. It wasn't going to be from doing it the way that a Zuckerberg or a Bezos or a Gates could do it. And so you're thinking that that leaves you with no options. Actually, it left me with the option of I am me. There are going to be people who do not like me. So when I created Perfect Pitches by Precious, I was clear to showcase you do not need to be me. You see me as a success. They didn't tell you the years when people were like, oh, I don't like the way you sound. You need to sound like Tony Robbins, Mel Robbins, Brene Brown, Les Brown, all these people. And I'm like, but I'm not them. I'm not even Oprah. I want to be the first Precious Williams. I know I'm gregarious. I know I'm out there in these streets. I know that. But you do not need to have my mannerisms. You don't need to have my confidence. Introverts, extroverts, ambiverts, welcome. Characters, welcome. Because some of y'all operate very differently. But there are tools. There are tools, tips, tricks, and tactics. They're going to work for you regardless to where you are on this spectrum of introvert to extrovert and ambivert. I want you to be the best you, not the carbon copy of me. I would hate to be around me all day, every day. So that was first. Secondly, when I wrote my first book on pitching, it was a 7 branding personas that I often encountered when I was on stage. And it was, are you funny? Are you mysterious? Are you ruled by numbers? Are you ruled by power? Are you unstoppable? Are you deeply flawed? Because that helps you in creating the perfect pitch for you, right? So I wanted to talk about that first instead of just saying this is the formula for pitching. No, no, no. I'm unstoppable and flawed. That sounds like a horrible combination. It's the best.
For
I'm
you.
unstoppable for me.
Yes.
But if you rule by numbers, you might be mysterious. You might be numbers and mysterious.
Yeah.
Some of us are power. Like we always are at the top with the top people, whatever, right? And so when you understand which one or two you are, then we can start the process of creating the right pitches for you. And be clear, everybody needs a pitch. Everybody, whether you are an employee, C-suite, VP,
Yes.
have your own company, nonprofit, executive directors, you all need it. That's why there's 6 different forms of pitching. Some of y'all may want to go higher up in your organization. Some of you may want to change the perspective of how you're seen within the in your own
Yes.
in corporate America. Some of us, we want to sell something that we created in our mind, and so we want to see and test the market. Some of us are speakers. I don't speak for free. I don't. I expect to get paid because I'm professional grade, not public. Do you see the difference? There's a
Yep.
difference, right? And so when people come to me and like, well, you went through hard times. You should just, no, 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 no. I run a business. If we can't make this a win-win for both of us, then the answer is no. You can't tell me what I should expect. I'm 46 years old. I haven't paid my dues. Don't throw AI in my face as if I run scared. I don't, because AI has never stood on stage with me and answered the question. I actually know my craft, and AI is a great tool,
Yeah.
but it
For
can't
sure.
replace me. Get that
No.
very clear. So, in knowing all of that, my second book was on creating the different types of pitches based on your personas. The third book, when you get all of that together, what do? We have to teach our network what we actually do versus what they think they see on social media. And so, how do you get them to be your business development for you? Because they're going to be in rooms you're never going to be in. Or you may not be in until they hear of an opportunity and say your name. What are they going to say when they say your name? Where are they going to direct people to? So that's the education. And then when they hear opportunities, oh, you need my girl Precious Williams. Oh, you need my girl Kelley. Oh, they do this, that, and the other. Let me take you to their LinkedIn so you can run that. That makes sure you're paid because they're your conduit.
Yeah.
And if their word says something, that's why the right rooms matter. Fourth book was on the pitch queen. How did I go from poverty to purpose and profits? And then Rainmaker, it was trying to plot twist and flip the script because when celebrities entered the pitching space, they were more in the investor space, but it took up so much root in people's brains that they thought all pitching is just investor pitching,
Yeah,
not
that's true.
understanding that there's 6 different forms. So God, my higher power and God told me, oh, let's plot twist and flip the script. Let's show them what you can do in sales. Let's show them what you can do in Rainmaker. Because now you're gonna take them that, oh, you thought it was over, baby. It's just a game to me. And that's why I'm in different industries. We can take pitching, sales, client acquisition, business development. It's nothing to me. And that brought me into the legal field, dentist, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my journey, and also understanding that what happens in different industries, stay abreast because it's going to eventually hit here. And if you're known as already the one who can distill things down and bring it into different industries, you're first. They're going to listen to you first.
Yeah.
Capitalize on that. So pitching is beautiful. Sales is the lifeblood of any business, but the ability to have a vision as a CEO and see where things are happening, even without knowing all the technology behind it, that's how you make it rain and slay the game.
Yeah, for sure. And also what I'm hearing you say is when it comes to like owning your worth and confidence for Black women, it is about creating a very personalized plan for you that is
Yes.
related. It's like knowing yourself and creating a personal plan based on that. It's not carbon copying someone's 5-step say this language every single time kind of thing. It does I just really want to make that clear because there's a lot of programs out there that do that, and I've seen a lot of women and Black women invest in programs, and I'm just like, you don't even do that. That's not even your zone of genius. Like you've now taken
At
yourself
all.
so far away to carbon copy someone who's successful. And I'm not doubting their success, but they're successful as themselves. And you need to be
Yes.
successful as
As
yourself. And
yourself.
copying someone else's success is not the way. And so I think you're providing through your books. I'm a cop. some now about how to be yourself and build these tools and skills. So you need to be looking for programs that gives you tools and skills. But when it comes to owning your
That you
worth, it is
can
owning
make
you.
your
Yes.
own. The
Yes.
second thing I want to definitely make it clear is I create pitches for so many different types of industries, organizations, scientific, technical, whatever. I'm proud, but when I'm working with my clients, we perfect it so it's their own,
Yes.
their language, not necessarily mine. And a gift that I have that I love is so many people come at me and say, I want to be a speaker, I want to do this. And they want to be in these crowded spaces. I'm like, do you know this industry will eat you up, sop you up like a biscuit?
And you never
You
thought of that. You never thought
you
of
have
it.
you have never even looked their way. And I get it because the bright shiny is over here, but I'm like, it's congested.
Yeah.
We need to focus more over here because you will stand out. As an attorney, as a former attorney, I didn't like going to attorney events because I was like, listen, I see these people all day, every day. Where are the other places am I going to stand out? And that if I were to say something, people are going to jump on it because I'm not in their industry.
Yeah.
How do I pitch and say? And pitching is about the audience too. So I would never do a media pitch if I'm in an interview for a job. Like
Yeah.
there different audiences require different things, and that's why people have been asking me, "Hey, Precious, if I were to pitch to you," I'm like, "Babe, I can break a pitch down and build it right back up in front of you right now." That's why when I go to Las Vegas at IMAX, I do something called escalator pitches. So I do a primer on pitching. The person will say their original pitch, and by the time we're up and down the escalators at Mandalay Bay, I will completely plot, twist, and flip the script on them. And then
I
I'll
love
ask the
that.
audience, which one did you like more? So we're doing something on October 15th called Pitch Review Ask the Killer Pitchmaster Live. So if you have a 30 to 90-second pitch, come to me. I'm going to go bar for bar, lick for lick with you. And I'm going to tell you what's working, what's not working, how to rearrange, smack it up, flip it, rub it down, and make it your own. And I'm excited about that. So it's not just books, it's programs. It's if you're a speaker, if you want to pitch better, if you might be thinking of another opportunity that sounds so outlandish. You were talking about elevators. Sometimes it's just that one. I think about Ingrid Vanderbilt and her EBW, Empowering a Billion Women. Sometimes we're so thinking so local and regional, but it could be that one person at that one organization that just blows you away.
Changes everything.
That's why I went for MSNBC and not local. I want to do something national or international first and then slide back because you can leverage those names, those organizations, and it opens up the door bigger than anything else. So shoot big first instead of small.
Yes, and again, you will have the confidence to do that when you have the skills that underlay
Yes.
that. And so, Precious, so much information, like a wealth of information. I hope you all are taking notes. Save this episode, a lot of information. I want to close with the question I always close everyone. So another pivot. But
I
I
love
really
it.
want to I always ask everybody about joy. And so my last question for everybody is, what brings you joy and how do you protect it?
What brings me joy? Right now, as I look over my computer, I'm looking over my balcony and I can see into Manhattan. I'm on the highest floor in my building. I remember when I was homeless. I remember when I felt like there was nothing and nobody. And God kept telling me, your second chapter is going to be better than your first. He did not lie. I love the fact that I write poetry and it brings out different parts of me. The third thing that brings me joy is I have real friends, real friends. We show up at each other's events. We call each other just cuz, not to talk business. I protect that by making it my mission every day. Who are the 5 people I'm reaching out to say, I love you and I see you. Holla at your girl. You heard? And you don't know what that does in the morning when we're all rushing. Say, my friend sees me. My friend believes in me. Oh, we're going to chop it up later. But do know before I thug it out, I'm thinking of you. And I'm also thinking of where I grew up. I thank God for my grandparents. My grandmother sits to the right of me. Born in 1933 to 2000, Precious Dolores Williams, the greatest to have ever existed, the best mother I could ever hope for, the one who told me at 16 years old that Oprah was going to know my name, and then when I speak, people listen, and I'm going to make money by my very voice. I am the one that she always wanted. I am the golden child, and I thank God every day I'm named after the greatest to have ever done it. Shout out to you, Precious Dolores Williams, 1933 to 2000, because without you, I would not be here. I would not believe in myself. And I love you more than life itself. And that is how I protect my joy, by looking
Oh,
at this queen who knew who I was
oh, she's
before
beautiful.
anybody else did. Sorry, I'm crying. And I pray that I do that for others. Because I wouldn't be here if God didn't give me a second chance past my suicide attempt to show me that the best is yet to come. Always. But build other people as you're building yourself.
I can't add anything to that. So I'm just going to end it there on those words because I think that's so important. We are going to link your books. We are going to link connecting to you and the perfect pitch group,
And
and
happy ladies!
savvy ladies, of course, savvy ladies. And Precious, thank you for your time, for your wisdom. Just thank yous all around the board. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for having me, Queen.
All right, so that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, please feel free to like, share, and follow the podcast. Please drop a review. You all have been lighting up the reviews lately, hitting to our goal of getting 700 reviews on Apple and 800 plus on Spotify. I want you to know I read every single review. I appreciate you so much. It makes a huge difference. It's the one free thing you can do that makes a big difference financially for the podcast. So please, please, please keep those reviews coming, and I appreciate you. Also, you can follow me at Black Girl Burnout across all the platforms. We're talking TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Substack, my baby. That we are almost 12,000 strong on Substack. We did that in under 7 months. If you want to go deeper and broader on the content with some other content we didn't even talk about in the podcast, Substack is the place to do. It's all free, but there is an opportunity to support the podcast by being a patron and contributing a monthly fee. All right, y'all. Until next week, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and rest well.